This MMA 30 segment is powered by The Gun Store. Next time you're in Las Vegas, if you want to shoot a real machine gun, do it at The Gun Store at 2900 East Tropicana.
The Fox deal now the UFC has is huge. The benefits are just notoriety and recognizable, for the recognition for the athletes. Obviously I don't know if it's going to make that much of a pay difference as far as what we're making from the UFC, but as far as outside the UFC, working with, some sponsors like a Nike or an Adidas or Gatorade, they're now looking at the athletes that are having national type of exposure compared to an athlete who's just being exposed on a level of, pay-per-view, other, cable channels. It's just, as far as sponsorships go, I can't imagine anything else being more of a benefit to us at this point.
Yeah, it's gonna reach a bigger range of audience. It's better for us, for sponsor, money, everything, for the fans. The caliber of the sport will get better.
I think the UFC signing with Fox is a real big deal for the sport. I mean, it's another step to being accepted by the mainstream, and I think a lot of the states that have still not legalized MMA are going to start thinking twice about it now Fox has picked it up. There's a lot of money to be made in the sport. There's a lot of exciting fighters, a lot of different personalities, and we need a home like Fox to really push the sport a little bit further.
It all depends if DirecTV and Fox can get their stuff together, because DirecTV has a lot of customers, but I think it can't hurt them.
Absolutely, I think the broadcast Fox deal will be huge for MMA. I think MMA is definitely a sport that deserves the platform of network television, and I think this will take MMA into another realm of popularity that I think it deserves.
I think regardless of where the UFC is on, the UFC fans are going to watch it. I think obviously moving over to Fox, that there are going to be more fans that we're going to add to the popularity of the sport. I just don't see it being negative in any way for the UFC. I think there are going to be a lot of positives that are going to come from it. A whole new fan base that may not have watched the UFC on a pay-per-view that will tune in on Fox and watch it. So I think it's a big step forward. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to fighting on Fox. That's for sure.
As far as how many people will actually watch, the UFC on Fox, I think a lot of viewers will watch. Most people have watched a football game, and most people will watch another football game. And I think missing one here or there is not really a big deal. But I think watching, MMA primetime on Fox is a little bit. I think it would take precedence in my household. I can only speak for me. And probably a couple other households as well. So I don't know how many viewers typically tune in at a time like that, but definitely a couple million, I think.
The Fox card, I know a lot of people are nervous, what's going to happen if it's a real vicious knockout, which I think is only going to help our sport out. Or, blood, just because of the elbows and some of the things that our sport inherently has. With the small gloves, there is cuts and there's blood. And, I know a lot of people are worried about what that would mean for the sport. But I just tell people, I think people just have to get accustomed to it and they'll get used to it. I mean, look at the NFL, look at, football. There's people that have received spinal injuries and been on the field and like life-altering, major, injuries. We haven't had that in the UFC. That hasn't ruined the NFL. It just kind of brings to attention that, hey, these guys are serious athletes and, they take on the inherent risks that, that come with their career. And we all hope that nothing bad happens, but it does, and it hasn't deterred fans. I haven't heard of any of the stadiums not selling out because, the following week or the previous week, somebody, had a cervical injury.
No, I mean, what? I think what it really boils down to when it does come to like blood and things like that is the acting that comes behind it. If two guys are bloody and they're fighting and they're going after it, look what it did, Forrest Griffin, Stephen Bonner. A lot of blood, but they were going after each other. I mean, they were fighting like it was nuts. You know what I'm saying? Both were still showing game. Even if you're bleeding, you're still showing guts, you're still showing courage, you're still showing you can fight. Hey man, cuts happen, we got elbows, so you have to, you pause it, so it could help it. Same thing with the vicious knockout. You know what? Things happen. I mean, it's just a matter of, again, referee-wise, do you jump in? It's the 3 shots after he's unconscious. That's usually the controversy. No one ever really talks about, man, he got knocked out. They're like, he got knocked out and he got hit 4 more times because so-and-so was too late to get in there. That's what people get controversial. So that, that's the way that it would play out. Blood, knockouts, good fights, they happen. It's just how if there's one shot too many, or the eyeballs hanging out and they're not stopping it. And that, again, that's discretion that we're kind of out of our hands.
This MMA 30 segment is powered by The Gun Store. Next time you're in Las Vegas, if you want to shoot a real machine gun, do it at The Gun Store at 2900 East Tropicana.